Hello, Statesman listeners. Thank you so much for downloading another one of our fantastic episodes. This one is extra funny and extra special just for you. You're probably stuck at home right now like the rest of us, quarantined away from this pandemic situation, and that's for the best. Your safety is more important than anything else. But we wanted to let you know that this episode you're about to listen to was recorded a few weeks prior to this whole situation with the coronavirus, and so there might be a few things mistimed in it. Isn't that right, Anthony?
Yeah, if you're hearing any references that might sound outdated or any old plugs that worked for shows or things that were called off, just be prepared for that. Understand, we still just wanted to put this out because we had such a great time with the guests.
Oh, a fantastic time. And there's so many things that you can do also to keep yourself safe while you're laughing.
Yeah, be sure to wash your hands, keep your social contact with people at a minimum, and keep enjoying our episodes. We're going to be putting our episodes out weekly throughout this entire thing, so we hope you enjoy. Stay positive and stay healthy.
Mwah.
Welcome to Statesman, the podcast where we explore all 50 states with our 5 senses. If you've come here for history, we're giving you none. This is a bonus episode, so all of this will be half-baked opinion that is never intended to harm or offend anyone. Fire up the grill and shamrock on. Today, we're getting our patty on. Not your clover leaf or pot of gold. The only thing we're smoking, beef is bold. 3 different states with 3 different meats. We make a leprechaun scream, holy sheet. The Burger Baroness has risen from her watery sleep. So much at stake. Or is it ground beef? We welcome you to State Patties Day.
Here come them dang statesman boys again.
I'm your older statesman, Tim Ferrari, along with my junior statesman, Anthony Rossi.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. When's St. Anthony's Day?
And Stuart Highcar.
St. Patrick's Day. I'm not patting anybody named Rick. Thank you very much.
Nice, guys. The only Patrick I like, Patrick Starr.
You don't like Pat Davitt?
Oh, that's our
good friend.
Okay, yeah,
and Patreon supporter.
All right, fucking throw me under the bus. I love Pat Davitt.
Hey, man, while you're under the bus, maybe you could check on the wheels under there.
Yeah, be careful when you're marching in the St. Patty's Day parade. No one should wind up under the bus.
Isn't that right, Tim?
Yeah, that's true. Did I ever tell you the story about how my foot ended up underneath a tractor on Halloween?
No.
How, your foot, were you under it there with it?
I feel like you might have, but please.
I think I might have mentioned this. I dressed up as Star Fox one year, and at my neighborhood, there was it was like a really small kind of ruralish thing. And they used to pull the kids around on a cart behind a tractor.
Okay.
Just like, a little, it was almost like a lawnmower. And I, for some reason, had the inkling, like a psychopathic feeling, to stick my foot underneath the big giant tire of the tractor just to see what it felt like.
Oh, you're talking about that like that. There's like a French word for it, but it's like the call of the void. You know, that thing where you're like driving along like a precarious road and you have this thought of like, what would happen if I just like drove off this side of this cliff?
Didn't stop. Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like. But I was 10.
I think you were possessed.
Possessed by the spirit of Star Fox.
The spirit of Halloween, I guess, too.
Well, hey, Tim, Star Fox, of course, a fantasy character, a sci-fi character, right? But we experienced something this weekend that was...
not so sci-fi.
No, in fact, back in time, eh?
Yeah. Anthony, what did we do yesterday?
We actually managed to wrangle our very difficult friend group, difficult to schedule.
They're all difficult as well.
Yeah, difficult personalities, all of them.
We managed to wrangle everybody and get a couple cars headed to medieval times.
Medieval times!
In Schaumburg, Illinois.
Yeah, that was a wild time.
It rules.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly recommend it to anybody.
I had never been before, and I'll be honest, I was a little bit like, I don't know. I thought it would be a bit of a bummer because I spent so much money on the ticket for it. Mm-hmm. I was like, it's not going to live up to this price. And yet, it absolutely met my expectations, didn't exceed them. It was just great. It was fun.
Yeah.
Good time.
I remember going one time in high school and having an okay time. But this time I went with a really, really open mind and just screamed my fucking head off the entire time.
I think when you're in high school, you want to look cool in front of your friends, so you're not willing to just throw it all away, throw it all to the wind, and scream for the Red Knight and his long, wavy hair and his beautiful body.
Did I tell you that he has a tongue piercing? I took a picture with him. He has a nice tongue piercing.
Yeah, you mentioned that, which honestly sticks out a little bit of an inaccuracy in the whole medieval time part of it. But
yeah, in our show, we were sitting in the Red Knight section. We were screaming our hearts out, but of course, he wound up losing it all.
That's right.
And it pissed us off.
Losing twice.
He lost twice, and the second time, I believe he was beheaded by order of the crowd.
Yeah.
Which, as it must be.
I was really, really pleased. I thought it was so much fun. It's one of those environments where once you're there, you're so swept up in the whole vibe of the place that it carries you along through the entire performance. So it is a little bit expensive up front, but you're paying for the dinner and the show.
Yeah.
And they do all these like animal tricks and stuff.
Oh, speaking of animal tricks, a hawk flew around the room for what felt like 6 hours. It's impressive the first time you see a hawk like fly around a room, but like the third or fourth time I was like, what's it doing?
There was also a horse that jumped like 10 feet in the air.
Just standing, jumped in the air.
Yeah. Listen, Medieval Times, don't come after us for any reason other than to offer us sponsorship cards.
Right.
We're endorsing your product.
Yeah.
We're not telling people these things so that they don't go to the show. We're telling them expressly to get them in the seats.
Yeah, we want to put butts in seats. And we also, look, I'll say it, guys. The food was so delicious that I considered leaning over and stealing a little bit from Anthony's plate, committing a medieval crime.
Jesus Christ.
I was digging into the roast half chicken with my hand because they don't give you silverware, and it was the most like primal feeling.
Wait, you had chicken? I had baby dragon.
Yeah, I also had half a baby dragon.
Thank you for correcting me. I could have been fooled because, of course, as the waitress specified,
it does taste and look like chicken.
It tastes and looks like a baby dragon.
Well, she had a Scottish accent, which is pretty close to an Irish accent, which is what we're celebrating today. But do you think that accent of hers was real, or do you think she is like an actor from Chicago who's like, it'll be kind of fun if tonight I play a Scottish person?
Oh, I think that's a medieval put on. I think that's she's that committed, and I think that's wonderful. Like the whole staff, like they would only address you as Lord or Lady, and they kept it was like running like a well-oiled machine. It was truly incredible. The whole experience was like there was constant like. The servers weren't there so much that it was annoying, but everything was just moving along. Like you were never sitting there waiting for too long for anything. There was always something going on in the show.
Look, and I want to bring up something that we did right after the show in Medieval Times itself. Of course, this is a $2 extra on your ticket, but you can visit the Museum of Torture. And no, I'm not talking about our Facebook page, guys.
Yeah, the Museum of Torture was really, really horrific because it had actual instruments of torture.
Yeah.
And then images of like old drawings depicting the devices in use.
Hold on. Some of them were old drawings that like looked old, and some of them were like clip art knights like being cut in half with like blood emojis coming in. It was really weird.
The only thing that was missing from the Museum of Torture was a pair of headphones blasting the Statesman podcast talking about medieval times.
Man, sometimes I think that's too far, all right?
We had a really good time at Medieval Times, but we're not talking medieval times. I'm pretty sure we're talking Patty times today.
We're talking Patty time. That's right. It's March 14th, St. Patrick's Day.
And instead of celebrating St. Patrick's Day like you normally would with the drinks and the whiskey and the green and, the pinching, we're going to do it with state patties, state burgers.
That's right. Of course, it makes perfect sense.
State Patties Day.
That's right. States Patties Day.
Yeah, like patties as in a burger patty.
State Patties Day.
Yeah, it makes sense.
State Patties Day.
We've invited somebody to talk something about burgers.
Hold on, not just somebody. We're talking to the body, the perfect person when talking to burgers, all right? This is the greatest mime when it comes to patties of any kind. Isn't that right, Anthony?
Absolutely. My hands are trembling. I am absolutely honored to have this guest here today.
My back is sweating, and I don't know if it's nerves or just all the meat I ate this morning.
Nice. Well, let's please welcome to the show the Burger Baroness, Joelle Mendoza.
Hello.
Wow.
So happy to be here.
I'm trembling in my boots. Your very presence is it's monumental and astounding.
I get that a lot. People do find me very intimidating.
Well, I mean, not just you, but also, of course, the two giant bouncers you've invited into our house along with you.
Yeah, well, Johnny and Billy go wherever I go.
Absolutely.
You'll understand why soon enough.
Oh, no.
No. Jesus Christ.
An active threat.
Wow.
Well, of course, we're joined by the Burger Baroness herself. Joelle, you're kind of known as the end-all be-all in terms of burger opinions, tastes. I mean, you're not just the taste maker. You're making a taste yourselves at the restaurants.
Yeah, well, yeah, you could say that. Absolutely. The moniker of of Burger Baroness was started by my fans.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
I took a big career change about 10 years ago. I was a vegetarian up
What?
until my early 20s, if you would believe it. But then made an absolute lifestyle change. Moved to Hamburg, Germany to do extensive research on the origin
Yes.
and development of hamburgers. Then
Well,
did a master's in meat studies and wrote my thesis, which you might have read, The Fattier the Pattier.
Yes.
A lifestyle.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, I can't, every menu in America, you can flip it over and find that written down the back, right?
And if I were ever to be sworn in to public office, I would absolutely rest my hand on a copy of that book.
Thank you.
By the way,
I appreciate that.
Huge shout out for you to go back to Hamburg itself. You know, kind of the mecca of burgers. You know, it all came from here, and it will all eventually return to there.
I hope it will. You know, I think the people of Germany, the good people of Germany, actually at this point probably eat fewer burgers than Americans do. American people eat an average of 32 billion burgers a year, enough to cover the surface of the earth 6 times.
Of course.
The average single American. That is a statistic I would never believe.
Yes. I mean, it's unbelievable, but it is true.
It is
when
true.
you really think about how many burgers I'm eating a day, and then times that by 300-something million people in America, I mean, yeah, it adds up.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah, the tradition of Americans eating burgers stretches back for years.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm interested in a different type of traditions based on this time. Do you have any St. Patrick's Day traditions that you honor year after year?
I start with my morning burger sandwich.
Sure,
Naturally.
You can read more about it in The Fattier the Pattier.
And can I ask you, of course, you mentioned it in the book, but do you do any like fun twists to make it a breakfast burger?
Oh, definitely. It's got an egg on it.
Oh, nice. I love an egg on a burger.
Just for a little protein.
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
there's not enough on
Not
your
a-
regular burger.
No.
Thank you. I
Hard
agree.
boiled, right?
Yes, of course.
Now, normally I would address you as Burger Baroness, but I think I'm going to go past the veil. Joelle.
Yes, you can call me Joelle. I'm so happy to be here on Statesman.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. You even saying the name, it nearly brings a tear to my eye. The celebrity status, the clout.
I know it's St. Patrick's Day, but could somebody pinch me? Because I think I'm dreaming.
Now, Joelle, where are you from in the United States?
Well, I was born in Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh.
But I grew up outside of the U.S. in Chile, in Santiago, Chile.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And then went to college in Vermont, then spent a year in Massachusetts, and then, my several years in Hamburg,
Of course.
Germany, and
of course.
then Illinois.
Ah, wow.
You've kind of been everywhere, at least that's 3 continents, including Europe as well.
Yes, it is. Does include Europe.
Unbelievable. Well, let me ask, growing up and spending so much time in Santiago, do you think you've brought any international flair to how you treat burgers?
Oh, definitely. Well, the hamburgers in Chile are differently eaten and prepared. They're longer and thinner, and they're on this big hamburger bread called pan frica, which is, I think, also of German descent. No ketchup. Chileans don't do ketchup. They do a lot of mayo and avocado.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and sometimes some onion or something called chucrut, which is like a pickled oniony
Ooh,
situation.
Ooh.
It's good.
I'm curious about the shape of the burger. You described it as long. Is it like a hot dog long?
What I meant by long is not long at all. Wide and thin.
So sort of a
smash
smash
burger.
patty.
Kind of like a smashed burger.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. How do you... What are your like different opinions on the states that you've lived in and their hamburgers?
Well, Vermont, there was a place by Middlebury where I went to college that had a lot of like gourmet burgers with a lot of like fancy things, sweet potato and the likes.
That's definitely one of the best part of burgers. It can be enjoyed by the paupers or the princes. But we're not talking about medieval times. What about the other state burgers?
Jesus Christ.
Massachusetts. Well, I lived in a tiny, tiny town in Western Massachusetts with a population of like 1,200 people. So there wasn't a burger place there. But it was okay because I was a vegetarian.
Right, that's right. How could we forget?
Yeah. But maybe you guys know, I know, of course, all about burgers in Massachusetts, but we don't have to go into that right now.
Sure.
I mean, we can talk. I did like the slightest amount of research. Of course, I think they are big fans of putting cream inside the burger and also beans on top.
Nice. Beans and cream.
Cream?
Right. Yep.
Cream?
Boston
It's a
cream?
Boston cream burger.
Delicious.
I feel
Absolutely, I am familiar.
Traditional.
As a representative of the Northeast, I've found that across the Northeast region of the United States, like all the burgers are very like classic Americana style. And I feel like the Connecticut style burger kind of radiated out all across there. So it's kind of the American standard where it's like thick and juicy with, the standard diner toppings.
Speaking of radiated out, let's talk about the 3 Mile Island of your burgers. What's the most disastrous burger you've ever tasted?
Oh my goodness. Well, let me tell you.
Take your time.
Some young burger rookie came along during my research and wanted me to help sell his burger because, of course, people listen to me when I say which burger
absolutely
is the best, burger.
Yeah.
But he had prepared his burger backwards, so to speak, inside out. So he did the bread instead of a patty and patties instead of bread.
Whoa.
Which is messy, to say the least.
Well, can I ask? I mean, hot meat make hot finger. How eat?
Well put, and I'll tell you. He hadn't thought it through. And so he offered it to me. And my hands did get dirty and greasy and hot.
I still see some of the scarring.
Thank
Your
you.
fingertips are burned off.
My fingertips, luckily, I don't need my fingertips for my livelihood.
Yeah.
Also, without those fingerprints, it's probably more easy to commit those medieval crimes I was talking about.
Oh, yes. Well, hence the presence of Billy and Jimmy.
So, I was curious. You said you were a vegetarian for a great time, right?
Yeah.
About how many years?
Up until I was 21.
Wow.
So 21 years.
Wow. So during your time as a vegetarian, was there a particular, the options are limited. There's a lot more than many meat eaters realize, but I'm just wondering, was there any particular place that you lived that kind of offered you the best variety?
Of vegetarian equivalents. It wasn't Chile because they don't really do vegetarian equivalents of stuff. So I ate a lot of vegetables there and pasta. But no, I would say, Vermont's got a fancy vegan foods movement.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Tasty.
All those hippies.
Of which I am not one.
Absolutely not. You, of course, came in dressed in a business suit.
Yes, I wouldn't dress any other way. After emerging from my watery sleep, which is what Tim knows that I took a long nap in my waterbed this morning.
Right, of course.
I donned my daily suit.
Is there a leak in your waterbed? Because I'm just curious about how the watery sleep factors in. Well, I guess, we don't have to get into that.
We don't have to get into it.
Well, guys, I shot my shot on the intro, okay?
It did rhyme.
Joelle, I want to ask you very specifically about a new addition sort of to the culture of burgers.
Yeah.
And this is this impossible meats. These things that are claiming to be meats, sort of putting on the masquerade mask of the meat, even though they are veggie friendly themselves. Have you tried any of these equivalents? Have you enjoyed any of these equivalents?
Well, I actually kind of did a never look back situation. So once I became a meat eater, I never again did not eat meat in any of my meals.
Absolutely understand.
And as you can see from my body type, it has really benefited me health-wise.
Absolutely.
And physically.
You kind of look like a thwomp from Super Mario.
Exactly.
Did that add up?
Yeah, I mean, I know what a thwomp is.
Okay.
Yeah, but Burger Baroness, I've read your book. I've really tried. I normally just my hands are so greasy when I'm eating it or when I'm reading it, rather.
Right. It's one and the same.
Right,
really.
one and the same. And I'm just curious as to what your best burger experience is. I know you've ventured to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. You've gone to Angel Falls. I'm wondering, where is the best burger in the world, and how can we get it?
I still haven't decided. And there have been many contenders. So this is kind of a huge year. 2020 is the year that the Baroness will claim the winner.
Of course, recently the Lunar New Year did conclude, and we've moved into the year of the burger, which is pretty huge.
It is huge. It's huge. And I can hear my calling plain as day.
So I hesitate to ask this, but there's a chance that someone could be earning best burger in the world today.
Well, I wouldn't be here if there wasn't.
Burger Baroness, we have assembled 3 burgers from our 3 home states for you to try and hopefully deem us best burger of State Patties Day.
We'll see. Well, I am excited to try them.
It's just an honor to let you taste the seeds of our labor, I suppose. We worked so hard on these burgers all morning, all night, and I think they're practically perfect in every way. Of course, they're going to be slightly different from the different states. Tim, you're presenting
a burger from Missouri.
I'll be presenting a burger from Colorado, and Anthony?
I'll be presenting a burger from New York.
Well, I did come to this very podcast because those are the only 3 states of which I have not tried a burger.
Wow.
So this will be new. This will be new to my virgin senses.
We're defining our state burgers on this podcast right now for the Burger Baroness.
Look, we're always defining state culture, but now we get to put it down in the history books.
I mean, as it says on your reviews online, you have been doing this since...
Thank you for reading our reviews.
Have you read our reviews, actually?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, cool.
Well, no, but yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody should be leaving a review if you're listening to this podcast. It helps the show out a lot.
Absolutely. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we get into our burgers?
I just wanted to mention, we were talking about reviews, and I'm honored you've read some of ours because I'm very proud of the review that I left for your book, actually, on Amazon, where I said, you might have seen this one, let me know if it was as flattering as I intended. But I was the one who posted, this book is like a burger itself, where the covers are the bun and the knowledge is the patty.
I loved that review. That review for me confirmed what I have been working to. Not that the content of the book matters, but that the shape and metaphor that it inspires is really the change I'm trying to make. So thank you, Anthony. I had no idea that was you.
Guys, I think I'm set up to win.
Yeah.
Wow.
I will not be playing favorites.
Ooh. Well, I hope by the end of this podcast, we have a new favorite burger for you to try out, eh?
All right, well let's move on into the old competition, as it were. Does anyone want to go first and retrieve their burger from the oven?
I would be more than happy to make the pilgrimage to our Mecca, the kitchen, and retrieve the burger for you all. But in the meantime, you'll have to ask our guests some silly, silly questions.
So my question did kind of get cut off because we got distracted by your breakfast burger. But is there any particular way that you enjoy celebrating St. Patrick's Day?
St. Patrick's Day, I like to take a walk along the Chicago River, which is green that day.
Yep, they dye it green.
Yes. I love to take a dip.
Whoa.
A ranch dip?
I see how you could think that, but I mean a body dip into the river.
Into the Green River?
Yes.
Do you come out looking like the Hulk?
Yes, I come out looking like a different Mario Kart character. If only Stuart were here to define which one.
I wish there were thwomps in Mario Kart. That'd be pretty badass. Do you drink? Do you imbibe on St. Patrick's Day?
Yes, I do. I like to drink Chicago's finest cognac.
Oh, shit. Chicagognac, of course.
Yes, of course.
Chicagognac, yeah. Okay, so
Better known.
Stuart has come into the room with his burger, and we're going to explore these burgers through the 5 senses. So we're going to be looking at them. We're going to see how they, we're going to hear how they sound. We're going to smell them, taste them, and then wrap it all up, of course, with how the burger has touched our hearts. Stuart, why don't you take your burger section away?
Colorado, Rocky Mountain. Oh, hi there, burger. Well, this is gonna be a pretty delicious treat. Joelle, first off, I want you to notice one thing. Look at how I'm holding the burger.
Stuart is raising the burger above the table with 2 hands, and I'm not sure when he's going to come down.
You see, I raised it to elevation, where you spend all your time in Colorado. Above 5,280 feet, that is.
You did raise it above 52.
The air is thin, but the flavor's full. Let me just break down exactly what's in this burger, all right? Where do we want to start, Tim?
It's the site. It's the site of it all. I guess you can talk about your ingredients in the site.
Yeah, I think that's only right. Okay. Right off the bat, Joelle, I'm going to go ahead and hand that to you. Do you want to just take a look at it, see if you can pick out some of the ingredients yourself?
All right. Well, what I'm noticing right off the bat is, never mind. I thought the patty was square, but that must have been just something from the perspective.
You've actually, you've tried your best, and I've also tried my best. It is rounder than I tried, but Colorado has the most square of the states.
Oh, it's supposed to be square?
It was supposed to be, yes.
I see that. But, absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Just because I'm like the coolest kid in school, so I can't even be square if I tried.
Yeah, I've heard that about you, Stu.
Thank you.
I see some cheddar cheese.
Close. That's a mix of cheddar cheese and Monterey Jack, along with a Mexican cheese mix, to bring out the Latin and Western mix of Colorado culture.
Oh, how lovely.
Thank ye.
Roasted onions.
That's right. Red onions. Red because of Colorado, named after the color red, as the natives saw in the clay of the area.
And your red eyes when you're smoking all of your legal kush.
All right. Tim finally brought it up. You probably see that there is an extra veggie on there. Can you tell me what's on there, Joelle?
Tim brought it up?
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah. I was
going to say broccoli.
That's right. That is delicious broccoli. And now there's broccoli on this burger. You want to know why? Well,
yes.
Maybe my good friend can explain it for you.
Little party biscuit off me. Goddamn. In the cut, I'm rolling up my broccoli. Goddamn. Yeah, I know your baby mama fond of me. Goddamn. All she wanna do is smoke that broccoli.
That's right. Legal weed was there in Colorado first. I won't put weed on burgers, man. That's really gross. I roasted up broccoli and put it on. Everybody likes the way I sing this song.
From 4 years ago.
Okay.
Just like that taste profile.
Whatever, dude. I included delicious roasted broccoli on there to bring up something that's so kind of, for the better or the worse, mixed in with Colorado's culture, which is that weed sock-wearing shittiness. I've never had broccoli on a burger before, but I absolutely swung for the fences. And if you ask me, I hit a home run over the Rocky Mountains with this flavor. Now, there's a few other things that you're not going to be able to see. These are specifically the sauces. On the lower patty, there's a Chipotle mayo. That's because Chipotle, the franchise, started in Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Thank you. And on the top bun, a green chile sauce to represent one of the most common treats of Colorado, which is a nice green chile, which, clears the sinuses and clears the mind, gets you ready for thinking, eh? Of course, I found that to be true. Joelle, with all these flavors I'm presenting to you, before you get a full taste, what's jumping out at you about sort of how this burger looks, how its ingredients come together? Aesthetically, is it a pleasing burger?
Well, Stuart, the first thing that jumps out at me is your passion and love for your state. I think it's a little controversial to choose the ingredients based on facts about the state rather than the way your state makes burgers. But I think
Okay.
I think that displays a love for your state that really is singular to people of Colorado in my experience.
Absolutely.
Everybody I meet from Colorado loves Colorado and loves to be nice people. Yeah, and I'd say, a lot of the colors in the burger are uniform. Everything is sort of roasted to a similar brown.
Absolutely.
And often some people would say this was bad, but I think in a burger, this is good. It shows cohesiveness. I'm wondering about the bread to patty ratio.
These are thick patty.
Yes, thick patty, thin bread is what I'm seeing.
Patty thin bread. And again, I want to just put it out there that I really did try and make this a square. And when it started cooking, it all kind of went to the middle, made a big fat patty.
Yeah, this reminds me of Joelle's 100,000 page book.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so thick.
Because and the book covers are so thin. I see what you mean, Anthony.
Now, I'm wondering if we should be rating this burger after each segment. We give a certain rating after the sight segment, the sound, and et cetera. You know what I mean?
Look, we certainly could. And we could rate it out of the 5 ingredients of a classic burger. Bun, meat, cheese, veggies, sauce.
Wow. Okay. So, Joelle, in terms of the sight of this burger, does Stu's Burger get a full 5
Greedies?
Full 5 greedies or 0 greedies or anywhere in between?
Look, Stuart, I gotta say,
Yes.
Visually, I'm not so sure about your burger.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's not a square.
Okay.
And
Okay, yeah.
it does look like it's going to taste yummy.
Oh.
But if you were judging it solely on looks, which is something I do a lot, I'm gonna have to give it a 3.
Wow.
Whoa.
And
3 greedies.
Could you tell me which of the greedies that is?
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm.
I think that's the cheese.
Well, no, you can pick any of the 3 greedies and tell me what you want to mix. Maybe it's just buns, cheese, and sauce.
I'm actually I'm gonna give one for the broccoli.
The
Okay.
veggies.
Yeah, the veggies, because fun. And it is the only thing that's given it a pop of color. I would say the veggies, the cheese, and the sauce, which
Nice.
really reminds me, it harkens back to my vegetarian days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I would love for you guys to bring these portions of the burger. Camden was so helpful to cut it into fourths. If you could bring it up to your nose and smell. And by the way, this burger is given to you in 1/4 portion. We are all one at a time smelling. Joelle, of course, I trust your nose more than anyone.
Thank you.
Anthony, I'm scared of your nose. And Tim, you've given it a good sniff. Why don't we all just go around the table? Tell us what you're picking up.
I've been sick for the past, 3, 4, maybe even a month. And I'm finally starting to be able to smell again. And smelling this burger, it's so good. You really have a good smell on this burger. It's nice, classic ground beef. It's clearly seasoned. And I can get some of that red onion in there. I'm giving this 2 thumbs up, Stuart.
Yeah.
Wow.
Usually like wet broccoli can have a scary kind of smell.
Yep.
And it can really dominate a dish. I think this was a pleasant surprise. I think all the flavors definitely came together. My mouth is watering like crazy. I think it looks good too. It looks good. It smells good. This is a real win so far, and I'm afraid of the competition.
Speaking of mouth watering, you'll notice as your mouth waters, the spit will gather on both sides, rolling off your tongue. Much like the Continental Divide found in Colorado.
Wow.
Where all rainfall either goes to the West Coast or the East Coast.
Wow, this competition's steeper than a rock face in Colorado.
You're telling me this is a fully sensory experience?
Oh, every sense of this burger is going to be Colorado themed.
Wow.
I can promise you that. Even the 6th sense. For I have some famous Colorado ghosts watching over you as you eat.
Whoa, extra sensory.
Joelle, any smells you're picking up? Anything you want to talk about nose-wise?
I can smell the green chili.
Yes.
So good.
A little bit of the spicy kick.
I love the spicy smell. And yeah, it smells so good. The Chipotle mayo, an impressive and risky choice.
Oh.
Truly.
And smells so good. I wonder if you mixed it yourself.
Yeah.
Did you also mix the cheeses yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Really impressive.
that Chipotle mayo almost had me saying, Ella Mayo, get that off that burger. But
Almost.
Instead,
now-
yeah, you're saying
I'm won over by the delicious smell.
cool.
All right.
Cool.
All right, we've all smelled it. Joelle, out of five greedies in a burger, how many greedies are you giving him?
I'm giving it all 5.
Wow.
Whoa. Damn.
5 out of 5 burger for or smell.
5 fat greedies.
All right, let's move on to the next segment. What does this burger sound like?
Now, this is obviously going to be one of the most challenging segments on the podcast, but Tim, of course, you're going to be in charge of this one. Tim will be squeezing my burger in his hand in front of his mic. Now, if we could all just be silent and listen in.
Ugh.
Well, that was bad.
Well, I have it all over my fingies.
That's bad. We have to do that like 3 more times.
Yeah.
I think we could really hear the wet broccoli.
Okay, well, I don't think we're going to get too much input on that. But Joelle, how many greedies do you think that sounded?
As I have nothing to compare it to, never having used the sound as a test for one of my burgers, and clearly I've been missing out. I would either give it a 5 or a 1.
You know what?
Should we average that out?
I think it's a 2.5 greedies.
Well, yes.
Damn.
Sure.
Wow. Now that I've squished that burger, I can really smell the green chili on my fingers, and that's really fun.
That's delicious. But you know what's going to be even more fun? When you all finally get a taste of this burger. We're entering the 4th sense. I'm going to let you guys all get a big old bite of this burger. Take your time. Obviously, bite as much as you want or as little as you want. But I have a feeling after one bite, you're going to have to go back in for another one.
Now, we do have the Statesman spittoon, so you don't have to swallow the pieces of the burger. You can just fire them into the spittoon.
Yes, we have, of course, the Statesman spittoon, which is featured on all of our Statesman episodes. And if you want to sort of puke your burger right back up in front of us all on mic, feel free. Anybody, I mean, your mouths are all full, which is a good sign so far. But as I know, even the worst burger can have an interesting mouthfeel. Joelle, you look confused. What's going through your mind?
Listen, Stuart, I as someone who loves meat, and specifically hamburger meat, I wish some of the taste from the sauces would have permeated through the burger more. I think the burger is kind of the taste that's overwhelming here. And that's a lot of meat. So, but what pun or metaphor have you found for the thickness of the meat for Colorado?
Absolutely. Colorado constantly ranked as one of the most healthy states in America. It has a very vibrant outdoor culture. People love to do things. And we, in terms of, I think, the obesity ranking or the national fitness statistics, Colorado is almost always number 1. I think there's only like 2 years in the past 50 years.
Like least obese or most obese?
Least obese. Yeah. The least obese. And so I wanted to include a thick burger to think about the thick calves of all of these men and women who are out hiking, biking, and trying new things every day. That's exactly what this burger was all about. And now that I'm starting to talk after having taken a bite myself, I'm feeling a little bit of heat on the back of my tongue. Anybody else getting that little kick?
I'm absolutely not getting any kick. I basically was biting through a brick of meat on mine. I got a good onion and some good broccoli, but the cheese and the chipotle mayo and even the green chili, which is such a distinct flavor, were completely drowned out. And I haven't seen like something more padded with meat than other than the runtime of an average Statesman episode.
I haven't seen something with this much meat padding since Michael Bay's Pain and Gain. That's another reference from 9 years ago.
I was disappointed because I think that a lot of your ingredients are super great choices and they should taste amazing. But overall, it kind of fell flat. It smelled better than it tasted.
It absolutely smelled so good.
I wish the burger had fell flat while I was cooking it in the griddle, eh? But instead, it just got taller and wider and thicker, just like the calves of all those Colorado citizens, eh?
Yeah, I was out of the room for most of the explanation of each of your tastes, but I think I agree. It was just mostly ground beef. 100. It was 90. I bought it 90% lean, but this burger, it's 100% ground beef.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Ever visited Greeley, Colorado? That's right, Greeley, the home of some of the biggest beef farms in America. So many cows, so many cow patties. I'm not talking about the poop either. I'm talking about the delicious food in which we eat now. So every decision I made is actually good.
Listen, what's the big dealie about a Greeley mealy?
Wow. Okay.
No follow-up.
Wow. Whoa.
I'm about to have beef with Stu if we don't move on to the feel segment.
Whoa. Camden, moving us on.
First words on the mic, and damn, they're hot.
And of course, Camden is not allowed to eat. He's going to clear out the Statesman spittoon at the end of this episode. And
why do we make him do that?
He asked. He specifically asked. His teeth are very weak.
Got into bird teeth.
Has Joelle given a rating for your site segment?
Well, this is the taste segment. And Joelle, if you would mind, and think about this one, really do think about this one. This burger's an inspiration to everyone in the big CO, the 303, eh? And I would like you to trust yourself on this one and tell me how many greedies my little BG got from Yee-Hee.
Well put, Stuart. Let me say that it reminded me a lot of my dinner, my daily dinner, which is only a burger patty with no bread or toppings.
Oh, okay.
Which
Of course.
was comforting.
Kind of a wind down. At
Exactly,
the end of the
a wind down. Exactly. I drink it with a tall glass of whiskey neat. I mean, I eat it.
Honestly, you eat burgers so fast, some people have described it as drinking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's true. But Stuart.
Oh, no, I
The
know.
passion with which you described it made me want to like it so bad. And of course, I haven't tried Anthony or Tim's yet, so I don't have a comparison point.
But think about how brave it was for me to go first as well.
It was so brave. However, I will not be giving extra credit for courage.
Okay.
Although courage in food making is important.
Absolutely. Yes, chef.
I'm going to give it 3, which is what I've given everything.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 greedies. Could I ask you which greedies they are?
The veggies.
Okay.
What am I missing? So there's veggie cheese.
Bun, patty, cheese, veggies, sauce,
Condiments.
I'll give cheese.
cheese. Okay.
And
With the amount of beef in there, it's got to be patty.
gotta be patty.
Too much patty.
Yeah, no, you're right. Let's do patty.
Fair enough. I'll take the ratings, and it will finally move us into the feel of the entire experience. This is where you're going to give your overall score of the burger, of which we'll move forward with into the final rankings. Think about the smell, think about the taste, think about, and I don't mean just the taste of the patty, think about the taste of every ingredient mixing in your mouth. And also think about that incredible sound of it squishing on mic. And then
I will never forget that.
and then when you're ready, tell me how many greedies my overall burger getsies.
I'm overall feeling I'm going to give it 4 greedies.
4 greedies!
Wow. I think that's above your average.
Absolutely, it was.
There's an extra greedy for Stuart's passion.
True.
And courage.
And courage.
And puns.
And the puns.
You know, I think my opinion doesn't matter in this, especially when compared to the Burger Baroness, but I really do feel the spirit of Colorado in this burger
Yes,
stew.
absolutely. And you probably feel other spirits from Colorado who are, again, in the room with us watching you eat the burger.
I do fear them as well.
Good. Let me ask you, Joelle. You gave me extra points for puns. I thought today was about buns.
My.
Can you reduce his points, please?
Please, Joe, let's move on. We move on.
well, much like your home state's air, this one left us all short of breath.
Oh, yeah. Good one. Yeah.
All right. I think we're going to move on to our next state, shall we?
Yeah.
Rock on.
Let's do it.
It's like the mountains.
While the Burger Baroness was judging the taste of Stuart's Colorado burger, I was in the kitchen retrieving a burger of my own. Now, Camden, if you wouldn't mind just handing me that over there, what I prepared for you today is a Missouri burger. Now, Joelle, if you wouldn't mind describing what you're looking at when it comes to this burger.
Ooh. For the listeners, let me say there is a fun little onion rainbow on top of the burger so that it kind of looks like a little purse with a fun handle. Now, almost as passionate about burgers I am about style. And this makes me think that we should market a burger purse.
What about
or a woman's clutch.
Yeah, or like a non-gendered burger bag.
Exactly. Like a Birkin bag, but different.
But he did a burger.
But it's a burger. Exactly. All right, I'm seeing it kind of looks like Stewart's.
Okay.
But the cheese is lighter.
Mm-hmm.
The onions are also red.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to hear why.
Mm-hmm.
And there seems to be some sort of crispy presence in there too, which I'm really excited about.
Yes.
Texture-wise.
So why don't I break it down? So what I've prepared for you all is a Missouri burger. There are various elements of Missouri that are within this burger. Now on top, the purse aspect, the little handle, is actually a representative of the St. Louis Arch. The gateway to the Midwest. If you're not unfamiliar, you ought to look up the Gateway Arch in St. Louis. So that's on top, sandwiched on top of the first patty. Underneath, you've got some chips. You've got some chips to represent the hard limestone ground that's underneath Missouri. The various caverns that wind like branches of a lung throughout the underscape. You've also got the red onion to symbolize the same thing. And you've also got...
Wait, hold on. The red onion represents the same thing as the chips?
It's going to both be crunchy, like limestone.
You got me there, Chief.
And then there's pepper jack cheese for a little bit of extra spice. Missouri, known to be very spicy. And then you've also got a Kansas City barbecue sauce. Kansas City, Missouri, of course.
Right.
Now,
Go Chiefs.
there's one last ingredient as a part of my presentation of this whole burger. If you're unfamiliar with the company Monsanto, you're going to be familiar with it now. I'm about to spray a little bit of Roundup on my burger. Now, hold on, I'm unscrewing the cap. If you're unfamiliar with what Roundup is, it's a pesticide. Now,
The burger's so wet.
Now,
Why
the
did you do
pesticide.
that?
this is a Missouri burger. I would be remiss. I would be remiss not to include one of the most powerful companies in the world, Monsanto, known for making famous pesticides, Roundup, DDT, and I'm pretty sure Agent Orange. Now, Stewart is cutting into the bun. Joelle, you've seen my presentation of my Missouri burger, and I need to know your thoughts as the Burger Baroness.
Well, right off the bat, let me say you took a big risk there spraying pesticide on your food.
Mhm.
I like it as a metaphor for American food and the pesticides.
And that is what I'm doing. Missouri,
Present.
very, very politically active. Mostly in the wrong direction, but nonetheless.
I've heard that. I see one of these crispy onions. So when you say crispy onion, you mean it's raw?
Yes, I mean, it is raw. Yes, it is raw. It's supposed to symbolize the limestone undertones of Missouri,
As do the chips.
as do the chips.
As do the chips.
And they're also spicy chips.
Oh, the chips are spicy.
Well, yes, the cheese is spicy, the chips are spicy. I don't know about the barbecue sauce, though.
Wow.
I've never tried that barbecue sauce. I'm curious.
I think it's ketchup-based. It smelled quite good coming out of the bottle, but I'm not the one to judge. Joelle, out of 5 greedies of a delicious and full burger, how many greedies is my sight for my Missouri burger getting?
I'm gonna give it 4 greedies.
4
Because
greedies.
it looks a lot like Stewart's, except it's also a little purse.
Yeah, I will say that arch or the handle of the purse is a masterstroke of genius.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Absolutely.
It makes me want to visit St. Louis.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
thank
Makes
you.
me want to eat down, grub up, you know?
Yeah, hopefully it was a gateway to more burger fun.
Yeah, gateway.
Hey, it certainly
Okay.
was a gateway to the next segment, Anthony. Joelle, why don't we take in the burger with our sniffers? Tell me, what are you pulling out of the burger in terms of an olfactory sense?
It smells like the barbecue sauce.
Yeah, and it's great. I love that classic barbecue smell.
Yeah, I think a barbecue Western sort of burger is really delicious. And that's appropriate considering St. Louis and the Arch are considered the gateway to the West.
Indeed. Gateway to the West to get to Kansas City, the home of delicious barbecue.
But will it be a gateway to the best flavor? I'm wondering.
So far, I think I am. Joelle, we've smelled these burgers. What are your opinions on them?
I like I said, I can smell the barbecue sauce, and I like the way it smells. However, that is the only thing I'm smelling. So that leads me to believe, well, perhaps it won't be all meat. But you know, Stewart's burger smelled so good and then did disappoint. Oh. So I think I'm gonna give it 4 again.
Wow. Okay.
All
you know,
right.
I'm doing so far so good. Now, of course, we're gonna get to the most important segment of them all, the sound segment. Now, I am going to be squishing my burger one more time, and let's hear what it sounds like.
Everybody be quiet.
Okay.
Well, the last one sounded really gross, but that one was music to my ears.
What? No, they sounded
Like a bagpipe. It was beautiful.
Now, if you can't tell, I did imbue this burger with the sounds of Powell Symphony Hall with the St. Louis Symphony Hall Orchestra.
Of course.
I could tell.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty apparent the second you brought it out, and I felt just the wave of a concerto of some kind hit me right in all 5 of the taste bud centers on the tongue.
Yes, as a seasoned member, that's how you say it.
You're a member of the symphony?
No, a season pass holder. Thank you. I could hear that. The subtlety.
Yes, thank you.
The less is more of classical music.
Yes, the rests are sometimes where the real music takes place.
Absolutely. In the absence of sound lives music.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, you're a Burger Baroness, but you're also an audiophile. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Interesting. Well, we need to rate my sound out of 5 greedies of a burger, of course. Joelle?
Greedy.
I'm gonna give your sound a 4.
Another 4. Wow, I'm really just kicking ass 80% of the way. Now, we have to move on to our really the most important segment of them all, how my burger tastes. Now, Anthony, you've already gone and eaten some of the burger. Tell me, what have you pulled out of it and how good is it?
Yeah, I was getting a bit of a head start on the burger, and I have to tell you, it delivers on everything that you'd expect based on the smell. I was blown away by that barbecue taste. It's not too vinegary. It has like a lot of warm flavor to it. But also the chips added some nice texture.
Oh.
I really, really liked it.
Did you get a soggy chip, Stuart?
I got nothing but soggy chips. Maybe if the chips had been added, you know, obviously it's a little bit tough to time out your chips when you put them on a burger. We've all been there. But these mixing with the barbecue sauce, they were sort of just like a soggy, spicy little sweet chip, which isn't necessarily bad, but I wasn't that into it. And I will say, the amount that I was lambasted for the size of my meat, I expect us all to be ripping Tim's Burger apart on this because it is at least of the same thickness.
Now, Joelle is continuing to eat my burger. I assume it doesn't all taste like ground beef like the last one did.
Well,
For me, I get a little bit of spice.
Yes. Here's the thing. It does have a lot of meat, Stuart. I see what you're talking about.
Thank you.
However, the raw onion is actually doing it for me. It complements it because your, not to make a direct comparison, but your grilled onions were soft and thus kind of sunk into the texture of the meat, becoming a part of a whole. These are like distinctive.
So you're saying sunk flavors aren't good?
Yes. Well, if not if they all kind of join the dominant flavor.
Of course, we have somebody who is kind of an expert on sunken things. The ghost of the unsinkable Molly Brown is in the room, a Colorado native who escaped the Titanic. I wish we could ask her on mic. Unfortunately, we do not have EVP software.
Camden's shaking his head no. I don't think that we can actually incorporate that in post.
I think Camden is shaking his head no. He doesn't want to be a part of this record anymore.
Okay. Well, I also believe that too.
Well, maybe you should have fed Camden.
That is very true. Camden, I didn't eat any of my burger. I just keep smushing them in between my hands. I don't know if you want any of it, but yeah. Sorry that we didn't make a control burger for you.
It's okay.
Now, I did spray Roundup on these burgers, and I'm sure you're tasting that.
Who got the wet part of the bun? Because he sprayed.
I think I might
Tim
have.
tried to get the mist, like a kind of spray bottle, but instead he got the spray bottle that you would like taunt a cat with.
Yeah,
so it just sprayed like water, really controlled into one spot on the burger.
Uh-huh.
I don't think I got it. I can't taste it. However, I'm sure I eat pesticides every day.
Oh my God, in this country?
Right? But also, I don't think I got a single chip, which I'm bummed about, but I'm going to take your word for it. It's good?
No.
The chips?
I liked it.
Oh, and
I really like the chip. I thought it was the part that made it spicy. 'Cause I don't know if you're tasting any spice whatsoever, but I have a lingering, excuse me, I'm burping, spice to it.
And those are hot chip, right?
They are Hot Chip.
Hot chip.
The band. Now, I'm going to pass around the DDT pesticide to wash all of this down personally. I don't know if any of you want some of this water, but...
Tim just sprayed water into his mouth and almost threw up.
It hit him directly in the uvula.
Yeah, that was...
It was a direct shot. Stop doing
What are you
it!
doing?
I'm washing it down.
Don't.
All right, Burger Baroness, we have to rate the taste out of 5 greedies. So, you know, I've gotten 4s all across the board. I think I'm smelling a 5.
Well, as much as I would love to give you a 5, I do think you leaned a little heavily on your barbecue sauce.
Okay.
So I'm giving it a 4.
Wow,
Nice.
consistent at least.
Hey.
So yeah, it's really a solid across the board 4 burger for me.
DDT stands for don't drink, Tim.
Yeah, Tim.
You're right.
And that's a message from Camden. He's tired of seeing you come home staggering.
Yeah,
every
Yeah.
night.
It's the amount of pesticide I've been drinking.
Be
All right.
responsible this St. Patty's Day.
Absolutely. Everyone
Yeah,
out there,
true.
by the way, we do want to make that very clear. We do not support vaping in any way, but we also hate drinking.
Yeah. Instead of drinking, just spray some pesticide in your mouth.
Exactly. Now, we've gone through this burger with our sniffers, with our listeners, and I don't mean them across the mic, I mean our ears. We've tasted it with our tongues, and we've looked at it with our eyes. Joelle, I'm wondering how this burger touches your heart.
It sort of touched my heart. I think I'll once again give it a 4.
Okay.
Wow. Tied with me.
Hey, okay, yeah. You know what? I'm down. Missouri was represented through the burger, I think.
I will say, and I, you know, obviously Joelle's score is going to be the final score for your burger. We don't stop spraying water in your mouth like that. Just
It's not water.
don't do that. I will say I lacked a little bit of the passion for this burger. I felt that you were really into it, but when I saw the burger hit the table, I didn't see the gleam in your eye like a child or like a mother when they first see their child. You know, I've always thought of when something comes out of the oven or off the griddle, I want you to almost break down at first sight. Isn't that right, Anthony?
Yeah, definitely. That's my principle as well. I want that look to be super appealing.
You know, Burger Boss or Burger Baroness,
Yes.
I'm sure you know what artistry is. It takes both the good things and the bad things.
Yes.
Now, with Missouri, when it comes to me, very personal state, I'm not sure if I enjoy the state all that much myself. I think I put that into the burger. I think I put my indifference, my apathy, my lack of passion into the burger, just how I feel about Missouri itself. And I'm
I
wondering
saw
if that would make you reconsider your score.
Well, no, but I totally see what you mean.
Thank you, Burger Baroness.
I feel like much like Stuart's passion made up for the taste of his burger, your lack of love for your state also came through. But, I get it.
I understand.
She gets it, all right, Tim?
Nope, it's cool. It's cool.
I think overall, so far, we've had two burgers that both have really fun and interesting twists while bringing in this state-themed. And Joelle, as someone who obviously is looking for possibly the greatest burger they've ever had, and a burger that, well, who knows, maybe could end up on one of the menus in one of your many, many restaurants. So far, between the two of us, is there anything that's really piquing your interest that you think, hey, my customers would love that?
Well, I think my customers are nothing if not passionate. So I would definitely, if I were to feature these burgers at one of McBaron Burgers.
Yeah, which, by the
Burger
way,
Baroness.
I want a big shout out for putting Mick in front of it.
Baroness.
I didn't quite understand it when I first heard it, but once I went to the restaurant, once I understood the history of it, it makes perfect sense.
Yes, thank you. It does.
And we'll leave that to our listeners to find out on their own time.
Yes, you guys. I mean, it won't be hard for you.
Yeah.
There's one almost on every block.
Yeah, read the fucking book, okay?
All right, so I think we're going to move on to our last burger, the burger that Anthony has prepared for us from the state of New York. Anthony, why don't you take your burger section away?
Listen, I have the most passion at the table about my home state because New York State is all passion, baby. We don't just like New York. We heart New York, all right? And that's why I reach deep within my personal experience to bring to you the most New York-style burger available. Now, I do want to caution, this one's going to blow your freaking top, all right?
Oh, it's going to make me fucking vomit. I think it's going to make me vomit, Anthony.
You got to think outside of the bun.
And sure, you fucking did that, buddy.
I feel like you thought outside the kitchen. This thing looks like it was made in a sewer. What? Well, to be fair, New York City, known for its sewer system.
Well, guys, listen.
We are.
Listen to me. For my burger, I went a little bit unorthodox with it. Of course, when everybody thinks of the food scene in New York, two things frequently come to mind.
What?
New York favorites, pizza and bagels.
Yes.
Okay.
So why would I ever serve my pizza on a bun when I could serve it on a pizza bagel? So
yeah,
I grabbed a couple packages of mini pizza bagels, and then I seasoned my burger up like a meatball. I hit it with a little red wine. A little oregano, a little basil, some garlic. I threw a little supersat in there as well, just to add a little extra Italian flair. And then, of course, over the top, I have marinara sauce and a shredded Italian blend, which has mozzarella and Parmesan in there.
You're saying those things you put over the top. I'm willing to say this entire dish is over the top. I don't know about this one.
Now, I understand that this might not be a particularly standard burger, but Joelle, looking down at that piece, wouldn't you say it's beautiful?
It really is. It's the saddest thing about burgers is that their shape doesn't always allow for such inventiveness, but you completely have deconstructed it to look sort of like a bunch of little hills on a big paddy field.
Yep, and of course, upstate New York, famous for its little hills.
Yeah.
I also want to put it out there. It kind of looks like what I imagine an Italian bear would shit out. Like, it's just like a big pile of sauce, bread, and cheese.
Let me say, I cannot wait for the sound portion of this.
Yeah. I can't wait to squish it in between my fingers.
Yeah,
Honestly, this burger makes me question the very definition of what a burger can be.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me as
Redefine.
well. And let me tell you, I have seen everything, but I have never seen 6 little breads on one big patty.
Wow. I honestly, it feels a little bit like I'm witnessing history. Tim and I, we did a remix of the burger song, but Anthony, he chopped and screwed this bad boy, all right?
Yeah.
This thing is fucked up.
All right, so I need to know, based on that stunning visual, how many greedies am I walking away with?
Can you real quick just sum up again what's on this? It's Mini bagels because bagels are in New York.
Pizza bagels because New York is famous for its pizza and its bagels.
Right. And so you put those together and then you added them as a single ingredient.
Yes.
Okay.
Instead of a bun, pizza bagels.
Okay.
And then on the burger itself, it's like it's going to taste a little bit like a meatball.
Right.
And it's bathing in that classic marinara.
So for me, the question is less how it looks because it looks so good. And more whether what I'm looking at is a burger. And
True.
unlike your co-patriots, Anthony, you did not imbue this with like little factoids about your state, except for the Hills one.
Mm-hmm. How about
You made it more just like super Italian.
And what's more New York than something that's super Italian?
Well, it seems to be Anthony's New York.
Yeah, no, we've run into this a couple times. My experience with upstate New York is through the lens of a little Italian-American boy. So naturally, I always gravitated towards Italian restaurants and Italian stores, import stores and things like that, just because that's what I always, associated with my upbringing. But I understand that it's not totally representative of everyone's New York experience. It's one of the best, like New York City especially, is one of the best food cities, if not the best, in the United States, because of its incredible melting pot diversity. But I definitely thought that I wanted some pizza bagels as a bun. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to fuck around and play with the form a little bit, get outside of the box, get outside of the bun, and really push the boundaries of flavor. So,
and hopefully you've achieved that.
So, I need to know, on a greedy scale, would it be greedy for me to ask for 5?
Anthony, you're in a unique position right now.
Unique New York.
Yes. A
veritable vocal warm-up.
Yes, a very good one. Much like red leather, yellow leather.
Ooh.
You're in the position where if I were to say that this was a burger, people would coin it such. So if I do say that this is a burger, anyways, but we're talking about how it looks. I'm going to give it 5.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Whoa. And I hope you don't mind. I hope it isn't greedy for me to ask, but may I have one of your bagel bites? I got 1 and you got 6. This is insane.
Wow, Anthony, how about you fucking chill out, man?
Demanding from the Burger Baroness right now.
When Camden gave me 4, I was surprised. But
Joelle, of course, you just mentioned that almost anything you create and call a burger is redefined for all chefs, all people, most humans as now a burger. Did you, and this was a famous news story, and if you don't want to talk on it, of course, we don't have to, but you did accidentally have a slip of a tongue when you called a young man working in one of your kitchens a burger. And famously, of course, he was eaten by a crowd of people outside the restaurant. Do you want to speak on that?
listen, I've said it before. I've sat in numerous interviews. Little Johnny Butler was a treat of a man, just delicious looking and smelling. And,
smelled good.
And sounding.
And of course.
So do I take responsibility in his death? No. Do I stand by what I said? Yes. Do I still, to this very day, love him and think he might have been the one that died and got away? Yes.
Oh, wow.
So it's hard for me to talk about.
Yeah. And you know, romance and burgers are so often intertwined in our lives.
They happen in my life for sure.
Absolutely. And that was such a fun section of the book, by the way. Just to get back
thank
into
you.
it.
Yeah, a little steamy.
Yeah. Well, I don't like steamed buns on my burgers, but how about some steamed stories in my burger books?
You know, many say that the heart is the reddest meat of all.
They do.
Many do say that.
Anthony.
Many do.
Yep. Well, enough stalling. We have to move on to the next segment and give this one a sniff. Everyone, please bring these burgers close to your nose and inhale deeply.
It smells like spaghetti and meatballs.
It really does smell like spaghetti and meatballs.
It smells like a big plate of bolognese, baby.
I can't believe that. You've taken a burger and made it smell like something different.
I actually think I can believe it. I think, I mean, like in terms of ingredients, there's no difference other than maybe the bagels, but
And the marinara sauce and the oregano. I mean, this is a burger that is different.
Listen, we've all heard I can't believe it's not butter, but I can believe it is burger.
Wow.
Sure. It was good.
Was it?
Joelle, is there any particular smell that you're popping into your little nosties?
Oh yeah, my nosties are taken in. Definitely the smell of a bolognese.
Yeah.
Like Tim said. And I'm intrigued and worried, but excited.
All right. So how many greedies would you say I received?
If it were a plate of pasta, I would give it 5.
Sure. That makes sense.
It smells so good, undoubtedly. But I do want the customers of McBaroness to smell what they're about to eat, which is why I gave Tim's 4, because it did smell exactly the way it tasted, which was like the barbecue sauce.
Okay.
Whereas Stewart's was completely deceptive.
And that's what's so tricky about Colorado, eh?
I'm gonna give it. I'm so sorry, Anthony. I'm gonna have to give it 3 greedies.
Wow.
Oh, man.
That's fair. I think that is very fair. But do you think, sort of on a larger scale, Joelle, do you think that this smell does a good job of representing New York?
My experience of New York has not been quite as Italian as Anthony's, but I would love it if it had been. It doesn't smell like New York, except a couple streets there. But it would have to smell sort of like urine. Well, I'm thinking of Manhattan specifically. I haven't had the honor of going to upstate.
Hold on. Tim, you have brought out a spray bottle. Anthony, do you have a spray bottle of pee?
Yes, I do. I have a spray bottle of pee.
I was hoping you'd say
It's a
that.
bottle of deer piss right there. Don't fuck around with
Okay.
that.
All right. I'm not going to spray that on the burger. I think that's a fair criticism. But once again, innovation is met with criticism. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the slider version of this burger could be called the Little Italy.
Anthony,
definitely.
you're incredibly inventive.
Thank you.
You're truly the Nikola Tesla of burgers.
Well, I'm Joelle. What?
I was going to say I'm excited that I have been able to fashion mine into 2 little burgers, which you know what? Maybe for the kids menu.
Oh.
And what do kids love more than New York?
Yeah, new people.
Little.
New York.
Oh, okay.
All right, it's time for the sound. If this were a New York burger, it would probably sound something like, "I'm walking here."
Honk honk. Traffic.
All right. I'm going in for the sound squish.
Kind of muted.
I got nothing.
Sounds
Wow.
like bread being squeezed.
Yeah, it kind of does. And isn't that interesting?
Normally I hear bread being broken, but squeezed?
and normally in New York, I mean, like, gangsters are putting the squeeze on restaurants to get some of their bread. The
Yeah.
money, I mean.
I would have expected this to be one of the loudest burgers.
Me too. I was expecting a little bit more crunch with those pizza bagels on either side of the burger, but really all we got was kind of squishy.
Why would you think you'd get a crunch? The second you look at these pizza bagels, they are like pillows. They are so soft and gooey.
I'll admit I had a bite of this before the smell segment, and I got a little bit of crunch out of it. So I was expecting the bread to break.
A truly mediocre sound. You might say pedestrian or even bourgeoisie.
Jesus Christ, Camden.
putting
That was brilliant.
putting the meat in mediocre.
Mediocre.
Yeah, yeah.
Good fucking God.
I do have to say that many of us have started eating this before the taste portion, and I think that speaks well of it.
I think it does too.
Before we move on and start talking about the taste, I need a greedy rating on that smell.
Of course, Joelle has just popped a little bit of this burger in her mouth. I just want to clear something up. Anyone from New York, we are obviously not saying that this represents your entire city, but
No, but it
City.
represents.
It's a state.
I think that's my problem with this. Well, I think, and this is something that happens every time we talk about New York. It's so hard to talk about New York without thinking that the entire state is the city.
I just
So
did it.
That's why I want to ask, like, Anthony, like, what part of this specifically do you think explores the upstate New York vibes from where you grew up? Before, of course, we hear the greedies about the smell.
Well, I did specify earlier that my experience in upstate New York was filtered through the lens of being an Italian American child. So I would spend a lot of time going to different like import stores and stuff like that with my dad, cooking a lot of sauce. That was a very standard kind of thing. We'd always cook together.
Did you have pizza bagels as a boy?
Honestly, not that frequently. Only at friends' houses.
I had pizza bagels all of the time. It was a staple in my home.
I love them.
Interesting.
I love them. But that squish, what's my Greedy's rating?
On a sound.
It didn't sound like much.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed. I thought it was going to be a symphony.
Me too.
I mean, not like Tipton's symphony, but
like loud and cacophonous, like a big guy.
Exactly. I was hoping it was going to sort of sound disgusting, and I would have given that 5.
Yeah.
But it didn't. It sounded clean.
Mm-hmm. It was squeaky clean burger sound.
Mm-hmm. So I'll give it 4.
Whoa,
wow. Because it didn't sound gross.
Okay.
But not 5 because I would have liked it if it sounded gross.
Wow.
Hey,
much higher than I was expecting. I was expecting an I for incomplete.
Sometimes they say silence is golden, but in this case, it's silver. Great job, Anthony.
Thank you. Well, finally, we can get into the taste.
Yeah.
And I honestly have to say, after biting into this, it tastes even better than I expected it to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't want to put out a negative opinion first. So anybody who wants to speak on this taste, you go into it.
I had a bite of this before the smell segment, and I gotta say, I thought it was quite delicious. It reminded me of a meatball or even a meatloaf, an Italian meatloaf. My mom, her favorite meal is meatloaf, and she used to make it all the time for us. And it brought me back like a ratatouille moment. I was transported right back to my childhood eating a meatloaf with my mom.
Wow.
It was delicious, Anthony. I'm surprised. It doesn't taste like a burger, but it tastes like nostalgia.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Man, this is a toughie for me because I do think you went so creatively. It's so interesting. It's so fun to see someone color outside the lines. But there are a few lines that sometimes I wonder if you need to stay within to claim that you're coloring a picture. And I kind of consider this the postmodern art of the burger world. And maybe I'm speaking out of my little bung, but I think this was fine. I wish those pizza bagels were not nearly as soggy as they ended up being. I think a crisp bagel crunch would have been a lot more fun, but what can I say? Anthony, you have been serving us sort of sloppy marinara stuff since day one on this pod. So congrats. Joelle, I see you sort of struggling with a big hunk of meat there and half a bagel. Any thoughts on the taste?
I have to say I'm kind of beside myself because as someone who has committed to eating a burger for every meal since the age of 21, and I am at this point much, much older than that, as you know.
Sure.
You have given me the gift of having my first plate of pasta in years.
Whoa!
And that is supremely emotional for me. So I gotta say, gosh, rules be darned. I'm giving it 5 greedy.
Whoa!
Damn.
Anthony, you are absolutely destroying this burger section.
Oh man, I'm so thrilled. I was really worried about this one, especially seeing it coming out of the oven where we were keeping it warm. I was very scared, but I think I was genuinely positively surprised. I think that I did get that burger seasoned up really, really well. I was really proud of the way that came out.
Yeah, I do think the way you described it as more of a meatball than a burger, I agree with. I think it has that taste. I wish it was I think this is a problem that all three of us dealt with, just in terms of the thickness of the burger. Not nearly as moist as I had hoped for, a little bit of a juicier burger, but that's what happens when you get thicker. Obviously, I was doing it on purpose to talk about the calves of people in Colorado, but for you guys, obviously, that was a terrible mistake.
Also, just the dry personalities of the people there, too.
In Colorado, absolutely.
In Colorado.
So dry and so witty and so dark humor.
Well,
we're like the British humor of friggin' America.
Well, we've got all of my greedy scores except for the one that matters most.
Yes.
Joelle, I am a trailblazer here, and I need to know, are you going to reward that creativity, or are you going to wish that you could just stay on the sideline.
Listen,
We are.
it tastes and smells so good. It's not at all a burger, though. It's a big meatball, and it's so good. My gosh, this might be the hardest decision I've ever made in my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Doesn't that mean that all three of our burgers are tied at 4 greedies?
Yes, I think that does. I think that means we need to have a tiebreaker of some sort.
Huh. But whatever could it be?
I don't know. I think maybe just we go around in the circle, starting with Anthony to Joelle to Stuart, then to myself, to give our burgers one last rating, and then I don't know. We'll determine it then.
Okay.
Anthony?
I absolutely fucked up today. And you know why? Because I've ruined all other burgers for myself. Every time I bite into a Whopper, I'm going to be wishing there was more Italian blend on it. Every time I bite into a Big Mac, I'm going to wish it was doused in marinara. I don't know. I really was excited about this. I think that there's a better way to do it. And I think with a couple tweaks, maybe using garlic bread instead of tiny little bagel bites, that could push it over the top. Or maybe even experimenting with some sort of beefy calzone sort of thing. That could be fun.
Sure.
Or maybe just make it a meaty pizza. But I'm really proud of the way that I represented New York. And for what a fortunate score. As far as I'm concerned, this was a win. And I am proud that I didn't just play it safe.
Stuart.
Well, you gave me a 4 as well. But the number 4 is featured in Colorado on a couple of things. 14ers. That's right. All of the many mountains we have that stretch above 14,000 feet in elevation. Now, I think just like those mountains, the flavor profile of my burger, sky high. I would also say that the 4 you gave me was a fantastic 4 because I had the heat, the Chipotle mayo, like the Human Torch. I had the almost invisible taste of the broccoli. I feel like I didn't even see it, just like the Invisible Woman. I had the patty that was so thick and brutal and assaultive to the taste buds, kind of like Ben Grimm the Thing. And Mr. Fantastic was there as well with the stretchy cheese.
And the stretch of this metaphor.
Well, overall, I think I did a pretty good job at presenting a burger that I think you could honestly offer at a restaurant without anyone wondering why you're spraying their food with water or why your food is coming out looking like Chef Boyardee puked. All right? That's the end of my segment.
You know, I really resent you calling my Monsanto pesticide DDT water. It is not. This kills plants. It kills pests. It kills everything that it touches.
Hey, watch out, John Leguizamo.
My Missouri burger, I don't know how I feel about it. I do feel like you could serve it at a restaurant, but does it touch my personal palate? I don't know. I don't know if Missouri will ever touch my personal palate. Maybe if I spent a little bit more time there, it would. So that's what I put into my burger, and to be frank, I'm okay with accepting a 4 and not accepting first place. The humbleness of the heart of America is Missouri. Joelle?
Wow, you boys make such compelling cases and display so much ambition. And I am really touched. I gotta say, though, I stand firmly by my ratings. Shootsies, as they say in the biz, I don't know. I think you're gonna be shocked to hear this, but I think in my traversing the globe, I have on occasion tasted burgers better than these. Now, yeah, so thank you so much for having me on today. But Well, you're all winners.
Joelle, if we're all winners, then we must all be losers as well. So, Camden, if you could go ahead and, play broccoli slowed down and reversed or something, but we all lose.
Yeah, and you know what? That's okay. We don't have to win on these episodes, it's okay to lose. It's actually, I think, good to lose for our spirits.
Thomas Edison failed 200 times making a light bulb, but he didn't really. He learned 200 ways not to make a light bulb. And today, I think we learned 3...
That was so quick.
That is the ghost of the unsinkable Molly Brown in the room playing that record backwards. I think we found 3 ways not to make a burger today, regardless of who wins or not. Anthony, any final thoughts?
I was so distracted by the song coming in that quickly.
Yeah, wow. I mean,
It's really
that's
impressive.
It's a masterstroke of Camden Stacy right now. Really impressive.
I'm going to follow in the Thomas Edison model because I know that I too have a bright idea.
Well,
wow.
I also, just like what we're hearing right now in our headphones with broccoli played backwards and slowed down, I hope this wasn't unlistenable. Overall, I think it was a fun journey. And Joelle, thank you for being honest and not just awarding us one of these. We'll all talk about the millennial generation and their dang participation trophies.
I have to tell you, we are disappointed that none of us will be getting to go into business with you.
Yeah,
but it was a massive win for all of us to get you out of your waterbed to come here. And
I was drowning in there.
Now we're all drowning on Mike, eh?
Yeah. Well, if you have any questions or concerns about the great 50 states of the Statesman, reach out to us on Twitter at StatesmanPod, on Facebook and Instagram at Statesman Podcast, or by email at statesmanpodcast@gmail.com. Please like, rate, subscribe, and share the show with your friends because it helps the show out a lot. And check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/StatesmanPodcast to support the show with your lovely dollars. Joelle, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you guys so much. This was so much fun.
Joelle, you are genuinely one of the most joyous and funny people I've ever met in the comedy scene in Chicago. There are so many of these jaded kind of people, and every time I see you, you're a bright ray of sunshine. And I want to thank you for being that. And also thank you for being a new friend of mine who I enjoy seeing every week at Trigger Happy.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
You're so lovely.
Joelle, we first met through the conservatory program at Second City, and it was so much fun performing with you for so long. And I definitely know you better than Stuart does. And you would say that I'm a better friend, I'm sure. But I would get all 5 greedies.
Yeah, exactly, right?
I get all 5 greedies in that category. But I do have to say, you are just such an electric and dynamite performer. You're just such a magnanimous and wonderful person. So we really, truly are so happy you were able to come out and judge this today. And I look forward to your next best-selling book.
Gosh, stop it, Tim.
Burger Baroness, I've been following you for so long in your various burger travels ever since you were a 21-year-old and I was, 4? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I've been following your travels and you're one of my idols, truly. It was great to meet you today. Do you have anywhere that we can find you online or any shows or even future books that you have coming up?
Oh, absolutely. I'm working on my next big bestseller.
Wow.
The book is a burger.
Whoa. Perhaps inspired by my stunning reviews. Look for my next review on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, rather.
Interesting that it's going to be on IMDb.
Hey, it'll be
book.
added to the
International Book Database.
Yep.
Okay. Joelle, honestly and performatively, do you have any plugs?
I have 2 more Trigger Happy shows with the one and only Stuart.
You can call me Stort.
And Wednesdays at 8 at The Annoyance. And Nectar, IO Herald Team, Monday nights, 10 p.m. We have a run. And Carlos Angeles, my indie team, we do bilingual episodes of Charlie's Angels. We perform monthly at Logan Square Improv. So check those out. It's really nice to get to do a little improv on the side of all the burger stuff.
Do you have any, do you post on social media anywhere that people can follow you out there?
You can follow me on Joelle__belly at Instagram. Joelle Mendoza on Facebook. I'm not on Twitter.
Awesome. Can you spell the Joelle Belly?
JOELLY__BELLY.
Awesome.
Love that. Joelle, thank you so much for coming.
Anthony Stewart, you got anything to plug?
Anthony, please.
Please follow this man on Twitter and Instagram at Stuart Highcar.
Wow.
STORT.
No. My name is spelled the right way. And just like the comedy of Colorado, my name is spelled the British way. STUARTHICAR, like you're saying hi to a car. You can follow me on both those platforms. And of course, you can follow Anthony at I'm a Rossi. I am a ROSSI.
Yes, that was correct.
Yeah, because I genuinely like your content and want to support it.
Oh, well, thank you, Stu.
Yeah, absolutely. Follow us both, come out, see shows, and celebrate St. Patty's Day. Of course, we celebrated it today as friends, and, I feel like we don't really need the end of a rainbow to find the pot of gold that we all came together and eat today, yeah? Tim?
Camden, you got anything to plug?
No.
Okay. You can follow me at Young Garlic, YUNG_garlic. I have a little painting show that's going to take place in the bathroom at Chocolate City, April 15th till the end of the month and into April or into May. And on behalf of my junior statesman, Anthony Rossi and Stuart Highcar, I'm your other statesman, Tim Ferrari. State positive.
The bear, the Italian bear that pooped out your meal, Anthony, probably said, burger!
Oh,
Jesus. I'm
God.
sorry.
Wow.
Sorry, Joelle, please be my friend.
Let's eat more burgers.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Little,